attracts that negativity from others, and I see it happen, sometimes I catch myself. I was like, oh, I'm the one responsible for that, you know. So how can I change my energy? How can I change my attitude and my perception to go towards something that I want, as opposed to trying to stay away? Because I think the more I try to stay away from it, the more I attract it.
You can stay away from something that you think about all day long.
Exactly.
It's not going to
Exactly.
happen.
Yeah.
So how you do that? I mean, I have a trick that it's not a trick. This is the way I'm working with people. Yeah, and there is a few study that one. I think Deepak Chopra talked about that. He said that we switch what we're thinking about every 6 seconds.
Every 6 seconds. Okay.
So when you think about, when you calculate that, how many hours we wake up in a day,
Right.
so we came down to between 30 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And most of them is something that we don't want to see in our life. Yeah, this is the reason we switch every 6 seconds what we're thinking about. Yeah, he said if you take one thought and keep it for 15 to 20 seconds, you start to see it in 3D. Whatever you see in 3D, you know exactly what is that, you know how to handle that, you know how to work with that, you know how to can be useful or whatever it is. So what I do, I'm kind of force you, yeah, to spend more time on what you want, which is mean I want you to write down, yeah, your future reality. I want you to write down on paper, yeah, as long as you can, as many details that you can, yeah, and I want you to read it multiple times a day. So what I do, I take something that you think that you don't want to see in your life. Now you read about something that you want to see in your life. Now when you read something, you go into that. Your mind starts to think, how does it look like? Because we think in picture. So when you read what you wrote, yeah, if it's take you 2, 3, 5 minutes to read it, see how many 6 seconds I took that you think about something that you don't want. Now you start to switch. You think about what you want. When you read it multiple times a day, so see how much time I take from what you don't want to hear, when you don't want to see and feel, and something that you want to create. So you kind of force yourself to think about something else. Yeah, and that's create a new habit. When you think about something again and again and again and again, it became reality because you start to live it.
Okay. So, if I hear you correctly, and I love this is really interesting, because you're taking control of something. But the logistics of it, as you said it, you think it, you write it. The important part is about writing it. Writing
Yes.
it and reading it over and over and over again. And that's interesting because, you know, as you said, Deepak Chopra said, you know, every 6 seconds a different thought pops into your head. And it's interesting because in today's society, with the technology and the bombardment of different things that distract people all the time, you know, if you are, you know, some kind of social media or whatever, you see something, you're reading something, and then something else pops up that takes your attention to something else, you know, and that happens all the time. You know, they say people now attention span is much shorter than it was decades ago, and I feel that has something to do with what's going on in society, with everything that's bombarding us, with everything, you know, trying to take away our attention so they could get our attention and our time and so on. So yeah, I think an exercise such as that is it's wonderful for so many different levels, you know, and yeah, I hope that you out there listening would definitely take that opportunity and start that tonight, you know, because I think that's a wonderful tool that you'll be able to utilize to perhaps those things that you probably felt was unattainable, right? That you can finally bring into your life. Yeah, I think that's a a wonderful thing, Haim, that I think people could give themselves.
I call it menu.
You call it what?
I call it as a menu.
A menu?
Yes.
Like a menu at a restaurant?
Yes.
MENU, okay.
Yes, and I apply it to any area in your life. And let's say you want to attract the soulmate. You want to attract the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. You need to know who he is before you meet him. Yeah, which is mean you create a menu. Yeah, and this is the person. I want him this height, I want him this eyes, I want him this skin, I want him have this kind of value. And you go down to detail. Like when you go to restaurant, they give you the menu. They say, that's what we're serving here. And that's what you're gonna get when you place an order. You're not gonna ask for chicken and you're gonna get fish.
Right.
It's not gonna happen. Because in life, we don't have a menu. We ask for fish and we get chicken. And we ask for meat and we get vegetable. Yeah? Why? Because we compromise. When you compromise, you're losing. You take what you get is not what's available. What's available is much more than that.
Right.
When you stop compromising and you go after what you want, you will get that. And you need to have the patience. And for example, I mean, to learn to stand, baby have about over 200 attempts. You can tell baby not to try to stand, he's not going to listen to you.
Right.
He say, you stand, I want to stand also.
Right.
Yeah, and he will try again and again. We as a grown-up, we don't even make one attempt to get what we want. We give up before we start. Very few go after that.
As you were saying, talking about the menu, and I was thinking about, my friend or couples who had that workshop. And Wayne, the husband, he said exactly that. He goes, I know who I want to be my wife. And he described it down to a T. Like you said, the height, she has to be a lighter tone than I am. She needs to be this, do that, be this person and so on. And guess what? He got his wife. And, and then he shared some other, because he did this kind of thing with different family, his kids as well. And, his daughter wanted a type of cell phone,
Mm-hmm.
a specific one. And he worked with it and she wrote it down and everything else. And then a scenario happened where this person left their phone by the wall outside their home. And they called the person and said, look, you left your phone here. And she goes, no, we got a new one anyway, so you can keep that one. And the daughter got exactly the type of phone that she wanted, the way you set up and everything else, because he worked on that exercise with her. And, and then also with his wife, because his wife was a non-believer, didn't really believe that. And she goes, I never win anything. And he started working with her on that as well. And then she started winning all these different little awards for various different things, which she goes, my entire life I have never done that. So it's there's a situation there, a scenario illustrating what you're talking about, which I think it's exciting, especially that we live in a world now that a lot of people feel like, they have the attitude shit happens.
Nothing happened just like that. Let's face it. Yeah. There is simple saying that said, if you want to have something that you didn't have before, you need to do something that you didn't do before.
Right.
There is no secret here.
Right.
It's a matter of taking action on what is that you want. Now, you will get it in the first time? No, nobody promised that. If you get it on the first time, that's great, but it's not promised.
Right.
Yeah. What the promise is the action that you take. Now, when you take action, whatever it is, here is the magic. What happened? You will stop to fail. You will stop to make something wrong. You will stop to make mistake, because you do something toward. Yeah, you're not going to get 100% right from beginning, from the get-go, right? There is a process. Yeah, so I look at that in a different way, which is mean when you whatever it is that you do, yeah, either it's work or it doesn't work. There is nothing in between.
Right.
Now, if it's working, great, keep doing that. If it doesn't work, let's see what didn't work, because you get some result. Yeah. Now let's tweak it, let's change it, let's add something, yeah, to make it better, and we keep going and make it better. You fail? No, you didn't. You make mistake? No.
Right.
You do anything wrong? No.
It's a lesson.
You didn't get. You did something that it didn't work. It didn't work the way you imagined that in your eyes,
Right.
of your mind. Let's keep doing that. Or you decide, look, I did it, and I realized it's not for me. But that's come from experience. It's not come because somebody told you. And that's what happened with many people. Someone told them, so they give up. How we know? How we can stop you from doing something that you want? I don't get it.
Right. All right, Chaim. So for the last few thoughts here, what would you want people to come away from this particular show and this particular topic today?
I will say something like that. Find someone that want to support you and help you without asking question. Yeah? And that's what you want. You don't want anybody to give you his opinion, because his opinion, when it's come from, he have no experience. So what kind of opinion did he tell you about? Not to do. Because our mind, the first reaction that he have is to go to safety.
Mm-hmm.
To go to safety is not to do anything. It's safe. Yeah? But the risk is great. The risk is the worst thing that can happen, because imagine that you live up to 90 and you sit on a rocking chair, yeah, and you reflect back on your life. That's the biggest risk that you can have. Because I could do that, and I could do this, I could have that, and I can be there, but I didn't do anything.
Biggest regret that you could possibly have.
Right. This is worse than doing and not getting the result that you're looking for.
Well, Chaim, thank you again for coming to our show.
I enjoy it.
And sharing your your wisdom here with us and with our viewers. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, and till next time. Have a good one.